Hello and welcome to the Transporter Room. I'm your host, Chris Scares, and with me today are my co-hosts, Allison Leach Hyde and Linda Pages. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today, and we're thrilled to introduce our incredible guest, Michael Chan. Michael is a Canadian actor and podcast host who fulfilled a lifelong dream by appearing as a recurring Federation ops officer in Star Trek Discovery. He is also known for his role as Alex Chang in the YTV/BBC series The Popularity Papers, and has appeared in shows such as Law and Order Toronto, Criminal Intent, and The Hardy Boys. Michael's work as a filmmaker has earned him several awards. His micro short film, The Only Asian, won a multitude of awards at international film festivals, including a Best Actor award for Michael at the Calcutta International Cult Film Festival. Now let's beam him in. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
Hey, good. Yourself? Thanks for having
Not too
me.
bad. It's my Friday because I'm taking tomorrow off. So,
Nice.
yay.
So excited to talk to you today. Thank you for joining us.
No, really. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. We've been able to kind of become friends through our
Yeah, we
show Trek
have.
online, which is really exciting. So it's really exciting. You're a real person. We get to talk to you here today. Yay.
I know
I
that
am a real person.
you are a real
commercials tell
person.
you that I'm not a real person. That real people are real people, and then there's actors, right?
Oh, okay. Valid point there. And that is true. It's so funny how much of us, like I have actually been so blessed to get to meet Allison and Linda in person, which a lot of hosts can't say, because we are very geographically divided. I mean,
We are scattered across
we are
the country.
scattered across the states.
Yeah, and
But
I'm in
it's been,
Canada.
yeah.
Yay.
I'm in a whole other country.
Yeah. Yeah, that you are. Yeah. But yeah, so I just want, and thank you for coming on today. And, before we I always like to get, a guest's background before, going into the acting per se or anything like the Star Trek or anything
Sure.
like that. And something that I noticed when I was, getting ready for today, and it kind of struck me here because I learned, that you were originally going to become a doctor.
Yes, I was.
And when I read that, it actually reminded me of Garrett Wong's story because I think he was actually going to become a doctor or a lawyer to that aspect. But that's the same way. That was his journey into acting. And so, how did you make your way, to come into an actor or to get into the
Well,
industry as well?
um, oh man. As far as I can remember, when I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a doctor. My mom was quite sickly, and so was I. And just seeing what doctors did for my mom to make her more comfortable, to actually help fix a few things. And then eventually, like when I was born, my immune system barely worked. For many years, I spent all the way until I was about 11. I stayed home most of the time, and I was very sickly of skin and bones. I was short. Now I'm 6 feet tall, but I still have asthma, but like it was so bad when I was young. And just a whole multitude, like I couldn't eat bananas because I would literally have an asthma attack from that and an allergic reaction. But doctors were the ones who helped me, and along with a very healthy dose of Star Trek. Thanks to my mom being a Trekkie herself, she discovered sci-fi when she and my dad immigrated to the States first, Wisconsin, before coming to Canada. And yeah, mom's just discovered her inner nerd. And so, baby Michael would be watching reruns of the original series. And then you have TNG becoming my main Trek as I understood Trek. But I was like, doctor, that's all I'm going to be. And I'm going to be a cardiologist, and I'm going to, because my mom had heart disease, um, I'm gonna fix the world. And I was good at science. I was always good in science classes. And so, I never did any drama. I was actually in band. I was a musician, played the sax. Can't do that anymore, although I did buy an electric sax to try to like relearn. um but yeah, like I was always a musician, and I liked to draw when I was young, but drama, acting, none of that was ever a thing for me until university. So here I am, studying biology and all the other courses that they have us to round us out, they have us take. And I had friends who are in like game development and programming, right? Computer sciences. And so they were just, doing a project to make a game. And they're like, Michael, so we noticed that you like to go on the internet and post a lot on anime message boards. And I'm like, yeah. So we discovered some of the audio files that you've uploaded to these boards. I'm like, oh. So I used to imitate anime characters
Yeah.
and make little trailers,
Oh no.
joke trailers. So in the same vein as honest trailers or stuff like that, except that I don't follow the actual story. I like change the stories, and like I had this one where I basically had Neo from Matrix. So this is not anime, but Neo is Matrix, but instead he becomes the Hulk. So that was his power. So in the
That's
Matrix, he
awesome.
hulks up, he like beats up Morpheus in their first fight,
Oh my god.
throws him through a wall. But anyways, and it got more elaborate over time. Like I actually like completely summarized the first 2 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh as an audio. Anyway, so my friends knew I had these things, and are like, so since you do so many very silly voices, can you put some of those voices into our games? So I did. And I don't know what on earth happened, but I will compare it to being Peter Parker being bit by a radioactive spider.
Okay.
I got bit by the acting bug, and it transformed me into your friendly neighborhood thespian because it was a switch. It's just the first time I was recording anything with them. It's just something in my head, something in my heart, something in my soul knew immediately that I was meant to perform. At that point, I wasn't sure like about what kind of acting. I just knew I had to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to my parents. We're very open, but they were not happy. My dad more than my mom. So they put a ton of conditions on me if I wanted to even explore that, which is fine. I accepted. They're right. I have to finish my degree, which I did. So I was a double major in human biology and sociology, and I have a degree in human biology. And I had an offer to go do my master's in sociology, cultural sociology. Related to East Asian immigration into North America. But yeah, I did I did a lot of stuff that I could have ended up doing, right? Like I could have. And then my dad was like, well, you need a job. So my dad was a realtor, and owned his own company. So I got my real estate license. And then my parents said, take your MCAT, LSAT, and SAT. And I took all three.
Oh
I
wow.
got, I got offers to med school and law school.
Wow.
Nice.
So um,
I mean,
I had
okay.
options. And
Yeah.
then I said, well, mom and dad, film school. That's where I'm going.
Hey,
Wow.
the one you
Uh,
do not expect. I love it.
well,
Yeah.
they knew, they thought, okay, with all of this stuff and like a million offers, and I could do, I did, I'm a realtor still. Now I own my
Great.
dad's company after
So
he
am I.
passed. Amazing. Um, but yeah, like I just jumped in and yeah, after I graduated, well, actually, before I graduated, I already started auditioning, something that most of my classmates didn't think to do because they were, we're all there to learn, but I was really gung ho. So I was like auditioning, I was volunteering for films. I ended up in a film as a costume because I was a cosplayer as well, a competitive cosplayer. Um, and so I ended up being wardrobe designer and a
Oh
minor
wow.
character in a vampire film. Uh, yeah, so I was always at the production side of the school because they had film, like acting and then production. So I would be on the production side, volunteering to be in every student's films. Um, and so, you know, like I went pro pretty much in my first year because I just wouldn't stop putting myself out there to work. And so as soon as I graduated, I was like doing Shakespeare, like at a major theater, and I was already also like doing pirate festivals and Ren fairs,
Oh
but like part
wow.
of their stage show.
Mhm.
And I was also a lead on a stage show that's talking about how the Dragon Festival, like the history. There's a Chinese poet who jumped in a river and all that. Like just like that was it, and I never looked back. Like I just yeah. No matter how hard acting gets, sometimes you know, with because it's up and down.
Oh yeah.
Not once have I gone back and said, "Man, I shouldn't have started this. This is where I'm meant to be."
Hmm.
Although I will say, having my degrees or degree and majors is very useful for analyzing scripts. It's
Mm.
very helpful that way, and also to break down scenes for acting, and then reconstruct them in my head, and then adjust when people give me new data via their acting choices and their information they're giving me.
Hmm.
So I come at it very scientifically. And it's
Nice.
interesting because a lot of my teachers told me that my brain would never be compatible for acting and told me I'd amount to nothing.
It's the worst.
I was
Oh
told
my God.
they wouldn't even train me in Shakespeare. My teachers, everyone else got to train. Just they're like, Michael, you'll get a scene from a movie because there's no way in hell anyone will ever book you for Shakespeare. And like I said, I did Shakespeare. So
You did Macbeth, which is one of my favorites of all time. So that is insane to me. I don't
yep.
can't stand it when teachers do that. Like no.
So
Oh my
yeah, like
God. That's
it's
not their
just
job. Their job is to educate and inspire you to become things, not tell you what you can't do.
well, there are,
Uh,
especially back then, you know,
well, yeah.
20 years ago.
Hmm.
Doesn't
Mhm.
sound like a long time, but it is because
It,
there's
Oh
been a
yeah.
it
lot
is.
of
Yeah.
It's
progress.
my entire lifetime.
Right? I was gonna say you were just born. Uh, um,
Yeah.
a lot has changed,
Oh,
and
correct.
despite culture wars, the reality is that what I experienced in my first few years, especially my first 5 years, which was just there was a lot of good, but
Hmm.
it was horrific. Like the
Yeah.
sheer amount of racism that and I'm Canadian. Like we're
Mhm.
not talking about the U.S. This is in Canada.
Hmm.
um, that I faced both from teachers and while on set was, and it's not just personal. Experienced watching others and trying to defend them and learning that when you're not, when you have no power on a set, it's very hard because you could actually lose your career over this.
Wow.
Um, there's so many things. So, you know, things like I am determined to make myself into somebody so that I can stop
Hmm.
these things from happening and they won't dare question when I stand up for someone. Um, all these things that I learned, you know, so there's been a lot of progress and a lot of good change
Yeah.
so that everything experienced back then. But yeah, like I said, I never going back around. I never ever look back. Uh, and so, yeah, and I come at it in a way that I think is unique to, I mean, I'm sure there's other scientific minded people who break it down like this, but at least on my end and from the people I've met, I'm one of the, you know, I tend to be way more scientific about it than most people.
So cool.
That
I
is
love
so cool.
hearing
So cool.
about your process. I was one of those theater kids in, from grade school
Yep.
through high school into college. Did not pursue. So I can come at it. I have done it that way. So, and I always loved hearing everyone's process because, all of my friends, we all had different processes. So that's super cool that you're very scientific and analytical about it. And
Mhm.
I was wondering, if tipping over into to acting and those student films and being on sets and not probably working the way you wanted, is that what led you to want to do your own film, The Only Asian, for producing and directing, to kind of like, I want to tell my idea of a story? And how did that come about, and where can we watch it?
Short answer, no.
Don't take short answer.
Long answer, I never thought about filmmaking
Okay.
until the pandemic. So when our industry shut down, I had nothing to do, and no auditions, no film, no nothing. And stuck at home worrying about everybody and worrying about the world and seeing just the negativity of it all. It's you feel trapped, especially if you're creative, like you like to go out there and do stuff. So the first thing I did artistically, because back then I wasn't on TikTok, my social media was just like me and the food I ate, was so many people on Twitch, but I can't seem to figure out how to stream video games. But I noticed I can stream my webcam, so I started to take the whole just pictures of what I eat thing into like, hello, this is day blah blah of the pandemic, and today this is the food I'm eating, and I just ate on camera and reviewed it. Like I think I reviewed a Reese's granola bar like 5 times. I remember people like,
God, we were so desperate for entertainment during the pandemic. We would
like,
watch anything.
bro, you're just eating. Yes.
We all do it every day, multiple times. Come on,
Yeah,
come along for the ride
this is
with me.
all I do. I just show
awesome.
you what food we stocked up for the pandemic.
It's so
It was
awesome.
so bad. Until I did figure out how to play video games, but I'm a gamer, but I'm bad at gaming, and so most of my gaming sessions were just me dying a lot, playing really poorly, and people screaming at me like, why would you do that? I don't know. All the comments of people are like, you're horrible. No, I'm not watching this anymore. You suck. I'm like, yeah, I know. You
Aw.
suck. That's the point.
Yes.
Like, I'm fully
I
okay.
die in tutorials, okay? I even
Well,
die when I use cheat codes. When I the first time played GTA 3, I was like, I know a cheat code for a tank, so I spawned into the game. The first thing I did, put the cheat code in, boom, tank spawn. I'm at the edge of a map, so the tank fell on my guy. I died in the first second.
no.
That's so awesome. Oh my God. That's so funny.
But yeah, so that didn't work out, and then eventually I was just like, so Stephen Mann of Man Casting in Toronto, he came up with this idea to have a little mini film festival. It's like, everybody just take your cell phones out or whatever equipment you have, make some films, and we'll choose a bunch of them and just watch them together, and maybe even have some awards, right? What started as an idea grew and grew. Like Bell and Cineplex got involved, and there were sponsors, and so like things really ramped up from there, and they got like a bajillion submissions. So I was like, oh, this sounds like fun. So my friend Timothy Ng, who's a fellow actor, um you can see him in Murdoch Mysteries, he and I liked during the pandemic to hide in the bathroom to play on our Nintendo Switches with each other, away from our families. We were playing
That's awesome.
Animal Crossing. Yeah.
Animal Crossing.
So the film I made was literally about two dudes one dude in a washroom playing Animal Crossing, and then his friends like, what the hell's going on? Like, why are you whispering? What is going? Why are you so close to the camera? Like, right? It's just a whole bunch of stuff that just goes awry, and then eventually it zooms out, and then you see me on a toilet. So yeah, I exposed my bum during the pandemic. Yeah, so that was my first taste of filmmaking. I was like, I think I need to make another one.
Yeah.
I think I need to try this
I really,
again.
that film didn't go anywhere, although it did end up in a Asian pandemic archive.
Nice.
Okay.
It's going down in history. It'll be in
Oh,
the
it's
textbooks.
it's there forever. It's in an actual
Oh, that's so
Asian
awesome.
Canadian cultural archive of art made during the pandemic.
Oh gosh.
So my butt is part of the history of
It's in
the
time
pandemic.
capsule for the pandemic. I love it.
It
That
is
awesome.
it's enshrined forever.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I gotta make up for this. And
Yeah.
also I'm
This is not
really
gonna
like
fly.
no. I enjoyed it. And during the pandemic, most people didn't make very elaborate films because we couldn't, right? And everyone's using
Mhm.
cell phones. And I was I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to do anything. So I was like, well, I have ideas now. I have ideas. I want to make them. And now is the right time for me because I don't have the skill set to make something that looks awesome. But now that all the festivals out there have very low expectations,
Mhm.
I could try to like tell my
It's my
stories.
time to shine.
Yeah, with really crappy lighting and really crappy sound, but wonderful acting. So uh,
What
when the
matters
industry
most.
That's right.
exactly. So one of the things was during the pandemic, a lot of my BIPOC, uh, so non-white friends, were dropped by their agencies. This is a real thing.
Ooh.
Actors losing their agents predominantly affected non-white actors during the pandemic. They just all the agencies were doing poorly, and they just dumped all their you know. So oh, man, we actually had a whole support group online, like a chat for non-white actors, where we just consoled one another and did table reads. But and then there was a big Asian one too that I was part of that did the same thing. But yeah, and trying to find a new agent, especially back then, was very, very hard. And even when there's no pandemic, right? A lot of times when you look for a new agent, you already you already look at a roster and see, is there anyone in your category who you're competing with and all that stuff, right? But like
Mhm.
during that period of time, oh my god, like most agencies just whittled it down to like one or two per category of non-white
Wow.
actors. Then they'll have a whole ton of white actors in various categories. And because of this issue, I booked a commercial, and while I was eating lunch, I don't know, just I got so angry listening to a friend of mine, because we were texting each other, telling me about his struggles, that I just came up with like a 1-minute film about being the only Asian uh, in an agency. And I chose my good friend Ginny Wong, who's a phenomenal actor. Uh, Ginny and Georgia, she's in that. She's in the new movie Adulthood with Josh Gad. Ginny isn't in my agency, and we're the same age, and we're both Chinese. But I'm really tall. She's average height for an Asian, and she's a woman. I'm a man. But I chose her to counter me as the only Asian, because that's the thing, right? Um, Here's the other thing. When you think category, you think, oh look, Asian man goes against Asian man of roughly same playing age. No, for some weird reason, we also go up against Asian women a lot for
Really?
open gender roles. So Ginny and I had already competed against each other a million times. And so I was like, so the whole film's premise is that two friends find out we have the same agent,
Mm.
and even though we don't really look alike, the only thing that really does it's common is we're Asian. We just have like kind of a Zoom argument, let's call it, and then I draw from anime to end it. And then like to end it, I have like a white person come in as our agent and going like, you guys don't look alike. But the reality is, yeah, Ginny and I compete. Like we often are up against each other for the exact same role.
That's
That's
interesting.
crazy.
That is
Yeah.
very strange.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, there are some roles that gender doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right?
True.
And there are roles where ethnicity doesn't matter, whatever, right? There's just open to anybody, and now we're competing against everyone, right? But yeah, because Ginny and I are the same age, we tend to end up, when they want their Asian options, it's me and her, and it may be like 2 or 3 other people.
Mhm.
It's always the same people. And so it's very weird. I'm like, hey Ginny, hey Michael, so my little short film
Fancying you
came
here.
true. It was already true, but now it's even more true.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
Confirming
that's
I was
where,
right.
so yeah, just all made on cell phone, and I don't know, I just submitted it to a bunch of places, and next thing I know, it went nuts. So from there, I was like, I want to try my hand at filmmaking, and I worked with several people over time, just trying to make a bunch of stuff. And I do like it.
Mhm.
I just I think I need to eventually find a group of people with similar thought processes and direction as me, because I haven't found that yet.
Mhm.
Right, I'm just working with whoever, right? But I think if I because right now I'm not doing any filmmaking.
Mhm.
If I were to go back to it, because I do want to, there are stories I want to tell, and I'm sure there's stories other people want to tell too. And if I can find a group where our goals can mesh together, and then we can put together a team, I think that would be how I will go back to it and how I will do it, instead of just randomly finding people who need someone, or creating a random group and then that dissolves and that's it.
Mhm. Cool. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
So this is a total 180 to something that you mentioned earlier, but you were talking about how you tend to approach creative projects with a very scientific mindset.
Mhm.
And as someone, I grew up doing theater. I was very much like a theater and artsy person. And then I got to college and did a whole 180, and now I'm studying STEM. And a lot of people have this mindset that you're one or the other. Like you either have this kind of STEM brain or you have this creative brain. And I wanted to ask you, I mean, clearly that's not true because people like you exist, but how have you been able to kind of merge both of those things, and how has having both of those mindsets helped you in both of those fields?
Well, I'll give you an example from my Joe job, real estate, because it's going the other way. So in real estate, I come at it from an artistic standpoint, from what I learned in acting. So let's say I have a house. The house, all its features, its neighborhood, all of that. That's the script, right? How I sell the house, what I say to people, all of that stuff, that's improvisation around it. And it, because at the end of the day, being a realtor is partially a performance, right? You're always
Right.
performing to people. It's a very face forward industry where you're interacting with others. So I think the I know some people think it's one or the other, right? But if you really think about it, like the worlds of art and creativity and the worlds of STEM and more analytical aspects of the world, they're kind of intermingled. They're not really separate, right? Like
Mhm.
even in science, think about science itself, right? Like how many times did someone get creative and come up with a breakthrough? But there has to be a level of creativity there to think outside the box. Thinking
Yeah.
outside the box is creativity and imagination. Someone has to, I don't know, imagine a rocket, imagine going to space, imagine what's out there, imagine all this stuff, imagine the possibilities, and then use science to try to bring it about or figure it out. So like all of this stuff, I think if people can learn, it's also like the argument. It's like, do you tell artists get a real job? I'm sorry, that is a real job,
Yes.
right? we are important in our own ways, but also like neither side can possibly function without the other.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right? The world would be a boring, sad, depressed place without us, and we wouldn't be able to do anything without the other side creating all the stuff that we use,
Mm-hmm.
right? For our artistic endeavors, and also coming to watch and then be inspired to go back to their jobs and do what, whatever with it. It's just back and forth exchange. So that's how I see things, right? I think you need to find ways within your own process to take aspects of each part of your creative side and your STEM side and use them on together. And that way I think it would expand how everybody sees the world and everybody approaches life.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you
true.
so much. That was a great answer. Thank you.
That was a great answer. Wow. We're getting some good, deep questions here tonight.
No, I really appreciate that response though, because it
Oh,
can be
yeah.
very frustrating hearing that a lot. Like, oh, well, you're either one or the other, or well, you're one or the other. Or, like hearing people who are in creative fields, like, oh, I could never do that. Like, that's too hard. I could never do that kind of math. I could never do science. Or hearing people in STEM fields being like, oh, I could never. I'm not creative enough for that. I'm not, whatever. And it's frustrating because it's like that's not true. Like, there's so much intersection that you don't understand because you don't try it. So it was a very refreshing answer. Thank you.
Well, that makes sense. Because what you just said as well, Linda. I mean, you're right. Most people feel like, well, I can't act, or if you're in a science field, you're not going you can't act. Why would you even try that? That's just not your thing. But I like both of y'all's answer because that's not true. That's just because you have a STEM mind doesn't mean you cannot try and at least try. Doesn't mean you're going to be great at it, but you can at least try.
Yeah.
But if you're not willing to try, I mean, hello, I decided to make a podcast or a YouTube
Yeah.
channel. I do
Yeah.
IT. Like, what the hell?
Being good at something doesn't automatically make you bad at something else. It's not an either or situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 And like oftentimes it's about enjoying something,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like I'm an artist, but this is who I am. I genuinely enjoy reading scientific papers and getting updated on what's happening, especially with medicine.
Yes. I
Yeah.
read the Scientific American every morning. It's my little morning
So
routine with my
like
confidence.
Yeah.
and that's that, like that's a thing,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
These things are not mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
They can exist together.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, they are, and that you're right. I mean, it's just so easy to put people into their box. You're an actor. That's what you do. Don't even try and go outside of your little box there. But that's not the way the world should work or does work. So
Although I'm going to be honest with you, I think a lot of the types of people who would box up artists as nothing more than, like useless, tend to want to stifle any
Mhm.
kind of
Creativity. Yes.
mm-hmm.
creativity,
Yeah.
and also, standing up to things and injustices and stuff in society. They don't like that. So they want to make us irrelevant.
Hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
how many times have you heard someone go, "You're just a football player. Go throw your ball. Go
Yeah.
kick it." Or like,
You're just a
stay,
singer.
stay
Just
away from this stuff. I'm like, or like politics, and I'm like, no, they have every right to say what they have to say, and if they have a platform that will make the world better, yeah, use it, man. That's what
Yeah.
you're there for.
yeah, and
Yep.
I've said it before, but I think that's why people are so afraid of artists is because we as a population bring them into our homes and have a personal relationship with them. Like even if, they've never met them, but we enjoy music in our homes, in our cars. We watch movies and in the theaters and in our homes. And so we bring these artists into our minds and have a relationship with their art, and it's very personal, and I do think people find that very threatening.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
very much so.
Oh yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
yeah. And you're right. And I would have never thought about it like that until, in current times, but I think you're right, Allison. I think that's because it's so much easier to get to us through our music and our movies and and what we're watching on our computer. So it's a much easier way to get to people. Oh
And
man.
that's why when Star Trek first came out, it was so amazing. It brought us,
Right? Yeah.
future science and art and wanting a better world for everyone.
I mean,
So
we have
that's
cell
so cool.
phones
It
because
makes
of
you
Star Trek.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're being able to, and now we're actually getting into this part of the podcast. The discussion is Star Trek. I mean, you think about
Of
this,
course.
the fact, look how we're able to do this right now.
Hmm.
All four of us, different country, different states, we're all able to sit here and talk. And just like we're almost in the same room, but but still, I mean, like I said, I've been doing IT for 30 years. And, I started when it was dial-up modems, the loud
Mhm.
screeching sound, and it still boggles my mind to think that we're able to do this like right
Mhm.
now. I mean, I remember the commercials from they're so relevant. AT&T back they made these commercials like I think it's the what ifs or something like that. They're talking about doing faxing from the beach and so on, and didn't do the faxing anymore, but still the concept of what they were predicting in Star Trek really helped. Like you said, it did a lot for this. And I know you've already touched on it a little bit, but what, you know, how did you become a Trekkie?
Short answer, my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She introduced me to science fiction through Star Trek, through Doctor Who, and
Oh,
also
okay.
through Star Wars. So those are my first three. And uh, but something about Star Trek, of all three of them, Star Trek really grabbed me as I guess baby Michael, because what some of the earliest memories I have are Sulu and Spock, and I always laugh at this. I thought Spock was Asian as a toddler.
I've heard that
Mhm.
before.
So, which by the way, that whole rice farming accident in that made me laugh. But the reality is, I think it's a mix of things, and by the way, why representation is so
Mm-hmm.
important, right? Like as a child, I watched Star Wars, and there's no one who looks like me.
Mhm.
Doctor Who, there's no one who looks like me, and not that the stories aren't great. Like Daleks still scare me. Like I was terrified of Daleks when I was a kid. Darth Vader was that sound, the
Mhm.
breathing scared the holy bejeebus, and the Emperor. Oh man,
Yeah.
Palpatine. That face. These things I remember, but something about Star Trek, I think it's the hopefulness of it. There's a vibe that I think as a baby, as a toddler, I picked up on that was different. Star Wars is a very lived in world, and it's
Mhm.
gritty, and each thing has its own purpose and its own
Yeah.
vibe. It's just, I think for me and the person that I would eventually become, I was attracted to whatever kind of positivity there was, along with the space, the colorful uniforms, the two Asians, one Asian. Uh,
One
um,
Asian and an alien.
but that's the thing, right? Like I saw these things, and it just drew me in. And then of course later you have TNG, when my understanding of language and concepts developed to a point I could understand Star Trek. That was what really hooked me. The humans have solved our own problems, so the problems that we really encounter are generally from outside, but those things are just used to teach us about actual things happening in our world,
Mhm.
right? It's semiotics, it's symbolism, it's metaphors, and how they can use diplomacy most of the time.
Yeah.
Violence only when necessary, because sometimes comes to that.
Yep.
But they try so hard not to do that. And I think that spoke to me more than anything else I ever saw. And that's what solidified, I guess, me as a Trekkie for the rest of my life, and me really wishing I could be a Starfleet officer, which, not in the acting sense, that came later. But I was like, man, if that world existed, I would love to be part of Starfleet. I would love to be a scientist in space,
Same.
meeting
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
species, solving
100%.
problems,
Yep.
and expanding the understanding of the universe, not just for myself, but with my team. We go expand understanding for everybody and make everybody even better. Like that's what I wanted, and that's what I still want. And it's actually it meshed so well with me wanting to be a doctor, because as a child I wanted to help people. I wanted to make the world better. I wanted to make people's lives better. And even later as an actor, I see my art as a way to impact people. And then if I can possibly build any kind of platform, use whatever voice I have to fight against injustice and all that. And that all comes from Trek, right? Like that's where all of this, as a child, what really shaped me internally, my moral compass, along with my parents. They were wonderful people. But sometimes, there's things we differ on.
Yeah.
And Star Trek, I'm watching, I'm like, oh man. That's a worldview that I think I can see working. And so that's why I'm a Trekkie, and that's how I was a Trekkie.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
Same for me. Like that's why that one, like Trek, is my favorite fandom, because it is hopeful, and having that, especially as a kid, is like we're looking forward to being adults and being in the world. So, well, I have to ask, who's your favorite captain?
It fluctuates.
Ooh.
For the longest time, it was Picard.
Okay.
Good
Obvious
one.
reasons.
It's a valid
And
choice.
Yeah.
And then Janeway showed up, and I got really confused about who I liked better.
That is the correct answer. It's
I
Janeway.
would argue. No,
I knew that was coming.
I was gonna say Cisco. Cisco is fantastic.
Oh
but
God, yeah.
Mine.
He was a
Cisco's
commander
mine.
for a while, so that's why the way my brain works. Eventually, when he became a captain, I was like, darn it, I like all three of them.
Fair. Completely.
I don't know.
Well, and
But, okay, I know it's not Kirk. I know it's not Archer. I love Burnham, but I love Janeway better.
correct.
I wish I got to see more of Giorgio.
I know. Wanted more Giorgio too.
They really should
Still want more.
just DH her and have a Giorgio limited series, not a full series. That way we can at least see what she was like. But yeah, I say at this point it really is still a toss up between Picard and Janeway for me. Although I have a Janeway shirt and a Picard statue, so Picard was a face palm.
Every time, that's
that
right. I know who has the more iconic face palm. Is it Janeway or Picard? It's probably Picard. Picard's probably more iconic. I think Picard's is used for a meme. I think more widespread than Janeway's.
Also, I love coffee, and I love my coffee black.
Correct. Yes, I drink coffee
I'm
black.
not a fan of Earl Grey
Because of Janeway. Yeah, no, she has the superior drink. If you're commanding a starship, you're drinking black coffee. That's the way to go, for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Also,
I rack DiGino in our universe.
Yeah, no Ractigino yet.
Can't try that. Someday.
wait, what's that?
Klingon coffee.
Oh, okay, I haven't gotten that far. Is it in Deep Space Nine? I haven't gotten that far in Deep Space Nine yet.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Klingon coffee. I feel like that might not be good.
Apparently, they all love it. Almost everyone on DS9 drinks Ractigino.
Dax loves it.
True.
Okay, well, if Dax likes it, then I guess I'm in.
Jadzia loves it.
Dax.
Well, correction, Jadzia Dax likes it.
Yeah.
Gotta get my Daxes right here.
Curzon
Another
did.
Dax?
Huh?
There's another Dax?
Oh, whoops! I keep forgetting you haven't finished DS9 yet.
There are
Whoopsie.
many
Don't ruin it for me.
Daxes. Yes.
Well, that's true. Okay, that there are many Daxes. I
Well,
forgot.
I know there have been many Daxes.
Yes. Okay. Enough DS9.
Including Dak Shepard.
Yeah, Dak Taylor.
There you go.
Okay.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Prescott and so many different Daxes.
Mm-hmm.
So you touched on this earlier, but just talking about representation and how important it is in media for especially kids to be able to see themselves represented in different ways, right? Like in terms of different races, identities, sexualities, gender, etc. Like, can you just talk about like how important that is in media, especially today? And I know that was something that Star Trek was not always good at, but always tried to be good at in every iteration.
So, okay. I have two answers to this
Okay.
because I've had pushback on something I said a while back, and I was like, I realized that. So I need to address two things here. First of all, when I talk about representation and diversity, we have to recognize that we're talking about it in a more Western sense, because we are trying to represent the society that we have over here, right? Where I get pushback sometimes from some people because they like to argue with me is about, well, what about in Japan? It's almost all Japanese people. I'm like, look at their society and tell me what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So back to the point. That's the only time I'm going to touch on that, because I think it's very important for our media to have good representation is because and diversity is because we live in a society that has that, and we need to normalize the society that we live in and not the society that some people think that our society should look like. And I think it's very important especially for children who are growing up, because I've always talked about with people about exposure. And I oh man, I forgot his name. So there was a black man who went to the KKK.
Oh,
He wrote a
yes.
book too, and he converted a whole bunch of them out of the KKK.
Gotcha.
Oh wow.
Sorry, I misunderstood you saying that at first as in he like joined the KKK, and I was like, I have like
No,
many
he just went
Gotcha.
there and
He went and
started
like okay,
interacting with them and showing
important clarification.
the exposure to him
Okay.
and to
Gotcha.
his life and to the people in his life allowed these people in the clan to see through a different lens and to realize, to stop seeing the color and stop hearing all the hateful propaganda and see people for people, because that's what we all are, right? And so I believe very strongly in exposure, and I think it's important for children to see themselves in media, because there's a sense of belonging, because they do belong in our society. But I also think it's important for children to see people of other ethnicities and cultures and genders and sexualities and all that, because those people exist, and we need to show children of all colors, of all genders, of all everything, the idea of IDIC, right? Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Bringing it back to Star Trek here. And through exposure of that kind, we can finally have adults, because when they grow up, they'll have all this. We have adults who see each other as people and not as divided groups. Because my God, look how easily people are divided now. It didn't take much. It really did not take much.
Nope.
To other groups of people, and I feel like, and that is why a certain administration targets DEI, right? Because they want one group, and that's not what we live in, and that's not how the world works.
Nope.
And it's not just one group, it's like one way of thought, one way of being, right? heterosexual. Woman looks a certain way, man looks a certain way, and you have kids and build a family, blah blah blah. Nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
That's not this world. That's not reality. And the quicker we can all figure this out, with some help from media, the better it is for everybody, and that we can reach that Star Trek future we all want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a great answer. Thank you so much. And now I feel kind of silly asking you my next question, which is we have to, of course, touch on the most controversial Star Trek episode of all time. Was Janeway right about Tuvix?
Yes.
Yeah. That is the correct answer.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Hashtag bye-bye Tuvix.
they were not in a position to have the technology to split Tuvix in two, and then to clone Tuvix, or transporter clone Tuvix, and then split one. As in, they were not in a position to basically have Tuvix alive and Neelix and Tuvok. And I understand the difficulty and the moral implications of splitting Tuvix back into two people. I get it. You're killing someone, but they are stuck. They are lost, and one crew member, unfortunately, cannot take the place of two, especially two that leave behind, would leave behind if dead, family and friends and legacy and all that stuff, right? And I easily say Janeway is right, but I remember when I watched it, it was hard for me to take.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it still is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. I say all the time, this episode genuinely should be taught in philosophy classes, just in every college.
I think
is...
the episode's name should have just been Kobayashi Maru, because that's what it was.
Yeah,
There
it
was
was.
No
It was Janeway's
actual
Kobayashi.
win,
There's
right?
no right answer. I joke about it a lot, obviously, on all my social media. Hashtag bye bye Tuvix, and I would have done the same thing she did, but there was no right answer, and that's the whole point. Is it's supposed to be debatable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate the argument of like, oh well, they could have basically cloned, like transporter cloned Tuvix and then split one of them and kept the other. But that, I feel like that brings on a whole new set of ethical discussions, because
which
Tuvok
one
and
do you
Neelix
choose
didn't consent
exactly?
to that. Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, I feel like Neelix would be super excited about it, but Tuvok would be like, "What in the hell is that? Like, I don't want to work with that. Like,
Yeah,
get
really.
that the hell away from me. Like,
Unless
that's awful."
we make an army of transporter clones, and then ask each one what they want. And now we have like 1,000,000 Tuvoks, 1,000,000 Neelixes, and
Oh God.
Oh jeez.
Well, and I
go.
think we are
Yeah.
still debating this to this day because Tom Wright did such a wonderful job of
Yes, he did.
acting Tuvix.
God, yes.
And
He
if
really did.
he hadn't done the job he did, I don't think we would be here
I don't
today.
think anyone would have
because
cared.
we
Yeah.
loved him.
I
Mhm.
I just
He was
wish the
amazing.
prosthetics weren't as creepy.
I mean, the
Okay.
mess, but the fun.
I showed this episode to one of my best friends for the first time last semester, and he came on. She hates aliens. It's like her worst fear. She's terrified. I have an ET stuffed animal that I like to leave in her dorm and scare her with. It's really fun. But Tuvix came on screen. She went, kill it immediately. I don't want to see it anymore. She's like, this
Right
is
away.
not. She goes, why is everyone debating this? She's like, just kill it the entire time. She's like, oh my god, just separate. She was freaking out. It was like her worst nightmare. It was really,
Can I
really
just say I pre-ordered the Tuvix action figure because I like the. I mean, I like Tuvix. I like to have one sitting there, but I was like, missed opportunity to have like Tuvix, the figure actually be like made of like rubber, and then you split the back open, and then you have two miniature
Too many.
figures.
God, that's
It's
so
like
awesome.
Tuvok and-
That'd be cool.
That would be
They should have
so
done that,
cool.
but I
They
think some
should have done
people would
that.
be really pissed off.
That's why they should do it. Oh my god, the amount of people take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I know I joke about it a lot and I post about it a lot, but because it's because people engage with it and it's fun and whatever. But I genuinely was called a Nazi in a comment section over a Tuvix debate. I mean,
Oh
people
my
take it like people take it so seriously. I was like, oh, maybe I should just not. Like, maybe I should just not talk about this anymore, because
Some
that's
people
like,
in our fandom need to no
Calm
offense to our
down.
fandom, like chill, because the
Yeah.
anger at Star Trek Scouts, which I like,
Yes, it's so cute. It's such a good way to get
um,
kids into Trek. I'm really
and
excited about it.
clearly not canon, or is a holodeck program, and they are
Mm-hmm.
children
Oh, I
learning to
like
be
that.
Like that idea.
officers. It's so
Oh,
obvious to me that I don't know
Mhm.
what. Okay,
that's
the point
really
is,
smart, actually.
people, grown adults, losing their minds over a kids show that could bring in new fans
Mm-hmm.
blows my
Right.
Yeah.
And
mind.
that's what we
Exactly.
need right now. We need more kids into Star Trek. That's why I was so
Yeah.
upset when they canceled Prodigy or like just kind of dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really excited about this. This is what I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
saying that we
But
need. So
they lost. They have now. They have the the toddlers. They still need that in between group,
Yeah.
the
The
teenagers.
prodigy is what they need.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Starfleet Academy will get some more people in my age group into
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek since it's about
Yeah.
our
It's
age group.
your age
So
group, yeah.
Yeah.
right. I'm hoping that
I'm hoping
is
they'll finally audition me for it.
I've I
They
have
still
told
haven't.
I've told all of my friends that we will all be watching it together when it premieres. We're all having a party. We're watching it here.
Do
Clear
it.
your schedules in advance. I don't know when it's going to be. Early 2026. Make sure you've got an open calendar because we're having Star Trek night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We're very
I'm
excited.
already I'm totally into it. Like I cannot wait
Oh, yeah.
for it.
I'm so
Same.
excited.
Well, and that's what we're hoping, that here at New York Comic Con, they're going to finally maybe announce a release date.
The actual date. Yeah.
We
I
don't know
hope
yet, but
so.
still they're hoping. And I was on an event last night with Larry Nemechek, and we were talking about that as well. Like, the fact that they're actually going to have cast members already on the cruise.
Mhm.
So like, are you going to have them? That's what the speculation is. Are you going to have them on the cruise before it has premiered, and make them have to just completely stay mum? There's no way. So
No,
anyway,
it's
and
got to
the
come
and the
out
cruise is
before.
late, and it's late February. So
Yeah, it's got to come out before then. I would
I don't
imagine.
know. We'll
Unless they
see.
do a cruise premiere for the cruise people.
Oh,
Never know.
Like an
oh,
early viewing.
Yeah, like a
oh,
1 or 2 episode premiere.
huh. I haven't
I think
sold.
it'll be out before then. My guess is
Oh,
I haven't.
I'm
late
pretty sure it'll
January,
be.
early
Yeah,
February.
I
Yeah.
haven't. I haven't sold my cabin yet. Now, now I'm sitting here thinking
Going.
like I'm rethinking that possibility of getting rid of my cabin. But
If
that's
it
so
aligned
funny.
with my spring break,
Yeah, I
but it
know
does
that'd be
not.
crazy.
And if
Well,
I'm pretty sure if I went to my professor and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be out for a week because I'm going to go on a Star Trek cruise," I think I'd be like,
no,
no,
no.
no."
Um, but something you said, all right, Lyndon, that's why, how you and I have connected, and that's why I brought you in, because we do need to get the younger generation, to replace the three of us. Unfortunately, we need to have we need to have clones to replace us because, you know,
Yeah,
we
I've been
want
a
it to keep
fan
going.
of this franchise for 39 years now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll skip the first 3 years of life because I don't remember watching Star Trek
same.
during them. So,
There
but
just isn't enough media out there that is like this. And
yes,
Yeah.
that's hopeful. Like I know everybody likes their, apocalypse, right? And Fallout, Twisted Metal, C. List goes on of like everything is bad. Um
yes,
we need at least one out there, and we need to get everyone on board so that people will have a more positive mindset and a goal that doesn't involve a competition where you use cars to blow each other up.
agreed.
Exactly.
Very much so.
And then talking about representation and, just getting everybody out there, I just wanted to know, I mean, what was it like working on Discovery?
It was incredible. It
Yeah.
was it remains one of my it's like in my top 3 sets I've ever worked on.
Mm-hmm.
um I know some people hate disco and think like the people who
They're
make it
wrong.
They
dis
are wrong.
hate Star Trek or disrespect Star Trek. The reality is we literally have a set specialist who holds the Bible of the entire history of Trek and how everything works. I had to do console training
Did you
and
really?
Oh, wow.
bridge positional training to understand
So
what I'm
awesome.
doing, why I'm doing, and why I'm doing it where on a bridge, and what I would and wouldn't do, and what it means to have, a black pip and a gold pip. So like all of these
Wow.
things are taught to us, and I am an unnamed, mind you, recurring character, and that's the detail they go to with not just myself but Emmanuel John, who played the security officer in the same episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We like to believe we're like best friends, and we have our own little storyline going.
That's so cute. I love it.
And we're pranksters, and Admiral Vance hates us, but
Admiral Vance hates you.
yeah, but we're too good at our jobs. He needs us.
Fair.
But no, seriously, like the amount of training just on lore alone is nuts. The fact that in every department I found Trekkies, and we just nerded out like crazy everywhere I went, right? In terms of the people making it.
Mm-hmm.
Me getting to actually, because Michelle Paradise wasn't able to be on set, but she is literally there on a screen through Zoom
Really?
trying to talk to all of us about different aspects of stuff, because she's involved. She believes in the vision. She loves Trek, and she has a deep respect for every aspect that came before, and she is trying. I It was amazing, just again on a screen, but her presence is there, just trying to make everything look and sound and work right. And to speak of hopeful, every day I was on set, every single day there was something to celebrate. We always had a moment of celebration of some kind,
Wonderful. That's
whether it's
amazing.
That's awesome. That's so
birthday or
amazing.
someone had something nice happen in their life, or
Mm-hmm.
a coming out party for somebody.
Aw.
Listen, I'm this number of videos I am in on people's phones of just dancing around. We also had dance parties, just like Saniqua would come in and she'd be like, like maybe flubbed on a scene or something, or they're just resetting, and so all of a sudden she's like, and then and Mary Wiseman would be like, "Oh yeah, all right," and then like Odette, and then the rest of us were like, just for like 2 minutes, and then we're like, "Okay, all right, done," and it's not once; it's like so much of that, and or like my first day on set, right? None of my scenes had Sonequa in it, but she is the lead, and she is our captain, and she personally came to the set when Emmanuel and I showed up for our first scene on
Oh,
set.
wow.
She showed up in her sweats, in her Jordans, you know. Clearly she's just waking up or resting or whatever. She came and said, "Welcome to the family."
Oh, my God.
I do. I love her.
Oh.
Um, she didn't have to do that. Really, she didn't, but she did. And she does this for everyone who's
Everyone.
new. And it's for any position. It doesn't matter how small your character is. She'll come and talk to you. She'll come and welcome you. She'll figure out who's new, and she'll welcome you to the family, because that's how much she and everybody else loves Trek and loves this family that we've built. I mean, my God, the trailer area, our trailers, like when the weather's nice, they actually have like like beach chairs, and one of the dots, like the robots, like a standee there, and like inflatable palm trees, and we can all just like chill together.
It's so
Like,
cute.
yeah. So the vibe on that set is unmatched. Really, it is unmatched, and it is every bit as hopeful, as positive as you could possibly be. And I think that's how entertainment should be made. It doesn't matter how deep and dark something is. Like the set should be positive. And I also think, if you can take that microcosm that we had of a society and expand that, the world will be an infinitely better place.
That's a great question. I mean, great answer. And before I let Allison ask her, I have to ask this because he's one of my favorite. I want to meet him. I'm so ready to meet him again. But how was it like? Did you get to work with Dougie, Mr. Doug Jones, at all,
No, I only got to
or
basically
even meet him? I
quick,
guess.
I did a quick moment on the lot
Mm-hmm.
while he was in prosthetics, so it was a hot day, so it wasn't too much. But no, I mean, from what I've heard about him and what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen from him, he's a great guy,
Oh
and
yeah.
the man I met was really friendly, and
Mm-hmm.
just took the moment to say hello and
Yeah.
asked me how my day was, man, and then back on our way because he's probably boiling in there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the Saru, all of
Costume.
it had
Oof.
to have been so
Mm-hmm.
hot.
Oh yeah,
And
but it's
our
nice to at least get to see it up close. It's so
oh,
cool.
awesome.
Oh
That is
wow.
so cool.
Okay,
Oh,
my
I jumped
question.
in. So you're
Oh, no,
next.
please do. Always ask about Dougie. So my question is, the two episodes you were in are
Mhm.
completely different. Like one is super calm, everyone's doing everything by the book, and then the next time you're on, everything is exploding.
Yes.
So what is that like? Because I've done theater. I have not done special effects shooting of a TV show and or a movie, and that just looks like it was a ton of fun to do, like all of the
You're
explosions.
asking about the second episode,
Yeah,
the finale.
mostly. Yeah.
Yes. That was so much fun. I don't think people realize just how many practical effects Discovery had
Mhm.
despite all the CG that they used. There's this that whole bridge, it's I mean, obviously outside of the screens, and
Mhm.
it's a real bridge. Like it's there, all the consoles are there, the bridge is there, explosions are almost all real. The
Wow.
ceiling collapsing, by the way, was real because that was an accident.
Huh.
Oh
What happened?
no! No!
What?
um so the back area had a whole bunch of different types of cannons, air, fire,
Mhm.
sparklers, everything, right? And what happened was, during that one take, oh boy, they when everything went off, I
Mhm.
don't know where the miscalculation happened. Like my console exploded
Mhm.
a lot larger than it was supposed to. Like
Okay.
I wasn't supposed to jump back, and neither was Emmanuel, but we both jumped back because our console
Well,
exploded.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
But
God.
That's
but
crazy.
no injuries there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was safe. But like the back where nobody was walking, like they made sure that they route the path, the walking paths they
Mhm.
put all of us in would never go near those cannons. And thank God they thought of that because yeah, when the big multi explosion happened, the entire ceiling collapsed in the back and the floor was like burned up, and it was crazy, but it looked so good, so that ended up
God.
that's in the show,
That's
and that's
insane.
real.
And that wasn't supposed to happen like
Wow.
that.
No, and
Oh.
of course what that's great is after that, thank goodness they're like, okay, well, moving on to the next shot, and broken now.
Do it again. It's done. Yeah.
Crazy.
There's no take two on that one.
I
Oh
just
my.
the amount of
No.
choreography that has to be planned in those type of shots is just
Yep.
mind-boggling to me. Like that's
it's not
so
just
intricate.
it's not
It's
just
insane.
choreography, it's the personnel,
Mhm.
right? From bajillions of departments, emergence, everything was there, and it was amazing and fun. And I think there were two things that I really hoped when I first got booked that I would get to experience, but didn't think I would, but I did. Was I wanted to be transported,
Mm-hmm.
a teleporter, and I wanted the ship shake, and I got both.
Yeah.
And the ship shake is so much fun. It's
Oh,
it's like
that's so
someone with a
awesome.
megaphone screaming left and right, and we're all just like in unison, like, but also
That's
we're
awesome.
we're trained, so we're like, and half of us going, where the hell's our seatbelts?
Huge oversight. Who is because who is launching into space without a seatbelt? Like when? Because it's implied that like at some point humanity was like, you know what, we don't need these
Look,
anymore.
we've
It's totally
also
fine.
evolved to the point in the future that we're just all really, really, just, our balance is fantastic until it's not, and then we die.
One thing about the disco bridge, I'm like, the only person sitting is the captain. Everybody else is standing. I'm like,
Right. And occasionally the
have no
first
seat.
officer
Yeah.
also gets to sit.
Well,
That's
no,
pretty much it.
Helms people
Helm,
sat too.
helm,
Oh,
and,
true.
and navigation did too. So there's 3 seats on that bridge.
Right.
Everybody
But the
else
bridge over at FHQ, everyone's
is
standing,
standing. Yes,
including Admiral Vance, and he's higher level than a captain.
that's great. You should have had a chair.
It's why
Really?
he's grumpy.
Crazy.
That's why he's
Here's my
grumpy.
Admiral chair.
Well, he could use that metamaterial and make a chair, probably.
Probably. But I'll say this, like, headcanon, like, totally Emmanuel and I stole it.
Okay, now I need someone to write a fan fiction about your two characters, like all of like the trouble they get into and
We
like
came
all
up,
the like antics.
we came up with what Emmanuel and I called a beam tag. So in the 32nd century, because our personal
I know.
communicators are also transporter, which I like. I know some people are like, I don't like it. I love it. Can
I'd
you
love to
imagine
have that.
playing tag?
Oh,
So like
yeah.
when we're off duty, the two of us are like, tag, you're it, and we're like all over FHQ.
So awesome.
And then Admiral Vance was like over the intercom, is like, Lieutenants Chan and John, come to my ready room. With the, he's like, ah! We're like, what?
So
You said
awesome.
come to the ready room. It's like,
We're
will you
here.
just stop that. I told you no more beam tag. I didn't write it into the rules. Yeah!
That's funny.
That's so
Starfleet approval
awesome.
to ban this.
So awesome. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's like a buddy comedy thing that we came up with. But
They need to bring back Star Trek shorts and give us the buddy comedy of
they should
tag.
beam tag. Beam tag. That's
Beam
the
tag.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
So I wanted to ask you, have you actually made it to any of our Star Trek conventions yet?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh,
The closest I ever got was it's not a convention, but the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas.
oh yeah.
Cool.
That was
I would have loved to have gone to that when it existed.
so my wife and I, we weren't married back then, but after we did the experience, we went to the bar and we ordered their fishbowl drink meant for like sharing with a group of people, called the Warp Core Breach.
Yeah.
But it's just two of us. And what I found interesting was two of the servers in the back. I watched them. They started like whispering to each other, and I was like, huh, I wonder what they're whispering about, because they kept staring at us.
Uh-oh.
So a lot of people think that Asians can't drink.
Oh.
I can. I don't get the flush, and I could. Back when I did drink, I could outdrink most people, and that I made it. I made it. I enjoyed having people underestimate me back then.
Yes.
So yeah, my wife and I drank the whole thing without
Oh my
ever having
God.
to go to the bathroom. And then yeah, so I stood up and I walked to the bathroom event, like once we were done, and I came back, and then she stood up, went back, and as soon as she sat down, I noticed one of the server pulls out a 20. Is like, oh, I was like, you're betting on us. You're betting on us.
Awesome.
We weren't drunk.
Oh my God.
We're trying to
Oh
either
my
it's
God.
finish it or finish it and still be standing, able to stand. And yeah, we were fine, and somebody lost a bet.
That
Me
is
in
so
Vegas.
funny.
That is
That is
so
the
funny.
best. My wife and I were like,
Oh my god,
That is
that's
so
great.
funny.
drink was delicious.
Well, hopefully you will get to make it. I mean, you've got to come to STLV next year. It's it's the 60th.
So much.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
My
I think
first STLV.
what's sad for me is that when I was younger, I didn't have the funds. And by the time I got to a point in my life where I could have, we had kids. And
Yeah.
I do want to mention, and I mention it in every podcast that I have the opportunity, that my daughter actually has a rare genetic condition. We have two kids, a daughter and a son. Our daughter's 7.5, her son's 3.5, and our daughter has what is called Dup15q. It is a duplication of her 15th chromosome, so it comes with basically cognitive disability and developmental and cognitive delays, as well as autism, and also hypertonia, which is where her muscle tone is very low, so she's very bendy, but she's also very strong to compensate, but then her stamina dies out real fast. She she's like in a school, the only school in Canada designed for children with support needs, and we're very lucky to have a universal healthcare system that partially helps us fund it, because I cannot afford 50,000 a year. um but that the thing about my daughter is it also means I can't really travel very
Yeah.
much
True.
anymore. And when I do, even like when I go do it for work, and I have for popularity papers, I had to travel out of town, not far, but like stay overnight in places. Like 3 nights away from her is brutal for her.
Yeah.
And brutal for my wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want to mention that, and to make people aware that there are a lot of rare conditions. Now, Colin Farrell, his child has something called Angelman's, and he's been talking about it lately. Angelman's is the sister disease to Dup15q. Angelman's is where the 15th is deleted, and Dup15 is where it's duplicated. So they're
Oh
sister
wow.
conditions. So you have a celebrity on both ends. There's this one. He's a bigger celebrity. But yeah, like yeah, we have a Trekkie though in the Dup15q Alliance. One of our oldest surviving dupers, we call them, is a huge Trekkie, and it's been lovely to see him continue to grow and live and thrive with the condition.
Wow.
But yeah, that is why I haven't been. Like, it's
Oh.
so hard for me to travel, even to see my own family. My family's on my mom's side's in San Francisco. Most of my family is like my great grandfather actually helped build the final section, the California section of the Pacific Railroad in the States. So we've
Wow.
been my bloodline has been in North America, in America specifically, for a very long time. He opened a restaurant in Oakland before he eventually went back to Hong Kong. That's where my grandparents, my parents and all that. And then and then my family mostly came back to the States before my parents, who were like the offshoots, went to Toronto. But yeah, most of my family's American, and we have a deep history in America. But yeah.
All right. Well, I've got one more question personally, and I would love if you would tell us about your podcast and where we can find it so we can all listen, and tell us how Hard Noise Must Investigate came about.
So yeah, oh man. So I used to, shout out to my good friend Jameel Robinson, who has the podcast True Currency on our United Federation of Podcast Network. He's I jokingly call him my podcast daddy, because I used to not know what podcasts were, even though there were so many of them. I had no idea. I didn't realize essentially it's just radio, but like with people talking a lot. So it's like talk radio. But he introduced me to podcasting in general, and eventually I had my own podcast with a partner where we basically interviewed people in Toronto while we went to different eateries and like bought food and talked about the food and ate while we chatted. From there, we ended at 50 episodes, and I was like, man, I still want a podcast. So what do I do? And my good friend Alex Blackburn from the UK, he's a filmmaker. He was like, hey, Michael, I want to do a horror podcast. Would you like to co-host with me? So yeah, Alex was like, well, do you want to do a horror podcast? And we did, and it was going well, but then both of our lives got like stupid busy. So that podcast just kind of fizzled out. So Heard Noise Must Investigate is my own solo horror podcast that I decided to just try. I used to think I wasn't able to solo a podcast. I didn't think I had the ability, and I didn't think people would be interested in what I had to say alone. But it turns out I'm very good at doing podcasts solo that are under 20 minutes, very digestible.
Yeah.
You know, just the network I'm on tends to have like episodes of various podcasts going like an hour and a half to 3 hours, you know. So I'm like the only one with short form. But yeah, basically, the title "Her Noise Must Investigate" comes from the trope in horror where a character hears something and they'll go investigate, and it's stupid.
Idiots.
I'm always screaming at the screen, none of
Always.
I'm like, no, come on, just run.
Yep.
Either way.
Every time.
Yeah.
My thing is like, okay, if your entire friend group slowly starts being murdered, you don't book a flight and get the hell out of there? You're not like, see ya. Like, let me know when y'all figure this out because I'm out. Like, you're like, no, I have to solve it. Hell no.
No.
Yeah,
I'll be in
or
Hawaii.
like,
See you
you're
later. Like,
if you're stuck in a house together, or like you're trapped, I mean, why are you all splitting up? You started out smart-ish, sticking together, right? And
we should
then I
split
don't
up.
know. It's like
No,
split
you
and
shouldn't.
split and
No,
split,
you
and I'm like,
shouldn't split up.
why do they
Why
always
would you
split
do
up?
that?
And of course, they investigate. They always investigate. I'm just
Always.
like, stop.
Everyone is
Stop it.
suddenly Sherlock Holmes.
Mhm.
So,
Run.
Okay. Do
So
you have a
because-
podcast episode on the Terrifier movies? Because they have slowly become my new obsession since
I
watching them for
have
HHN this year.
one episode on one of them.
Okay. Okay.
So what I do is I basically talk. I talk about one thing per episode.
Okay.
And it's like I said, my episodes tend to be under 20 minutes, and it's just me. Eventually, I want to have a guest, so I might be willing to push it past 20. I don't want to, but yeah, like I talk about one thing, and I don't. It's not just reviewing movies or TV. Like I go into everything. Like at one point, I talked about a Polly Pocket. That was
Yes.
and people are like, "What on earth did I just listen? You just listen to me talk 8 minutes about a Polly Pocket." I'm like,
Polly
"Yeah,
Pocket.
did you enjoy it?" Yeah, surprisingly, I did.
Yeah, see?
There you go.
Mission accomplished.
But also, my podcast is set. I don't know how it got here, but like it turns out my own podcast has me set in a pocket universe where the CN Tower is like essentially an ancient god, and has taken over, has decided humanity sucks and it's just going to take over. So all of Toronto and surrounding Canada has been taken over by the CN Tower. There are a lot of other horrible things. I record from a recording booth that the CN Tower forces me to record from underground.
Oh.
I'm only allowed to come out to watch movies and play with Polly Pockets when the CN Tower wants me to. So the things I talk about are real, but I make reference to this alternate universe quite a bit in my show to bring a bit of entertainment. And the longer I go, the more insane I get, and the more insane things I say, and I build my own lore. And on top of all of that, I occasionally do little commercials because I like to mock, like all the big podcasts having the same freaking sponsors. It's always mattresses and headphones and cereal and energy drinks. And anyways, I have my own commercials now, and
Yes.
Awesome.
it's always mocking either those commercials or billionaires, the bad ones,
Great.
just in case any good billionaires want to get angry at me. The bad ones, you know who you are. I've already mocked you.
You already know.
They know.
But yeah, it's all through in-universe, metaphors. But yeah, I don't know. It just happened. It organically evolved over my episodes. So now it's like entertainment / reviews. So yeah, I hope people will consider listening to it. It's on all the major podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So yeah, it's very easy to find. It's Heard Noise Must Investigate. I also have an Instagram. It's at Heard Noise Must Investigate, and a Facebook also at Heard Noise Must Investigate. I don't have any other social media for it.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
I'll have to do that. Well, Michael, we have our last question for the day.
All right.
And it is, what piece of Star Trek technology do you wish existed today? Or what?
Replicator.
All right.
And the reason why is that, man, it is so hard to cook with my two kids. I wish I could just, and honestly, eating out is very expensive. So if I could just have a replicator to make what I want, I'll even buy all the ingredients from the supermarket. Just freaking replicate the dish I want with the ingredients I have, and I'll be happy.
Yes.
I'm also a big fan that you put the dirty dishes back in the replicator and then they disappear.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. It's also a dishwasher.
Yes.
Technically. Yes.
Well, the matter just goes back into the.
It gets reused.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly.
Also,
Also,
they recycle it.
And I could also use it to like fix clothing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so a food replicator or like a replicator?
I just
'Cause those are
realized.
different
Okay.
things, right?
No, you're right. Okay. So food is priority. But if I could have a food and a matter replicator, but like it's a basic one where you have to have the item, you put it in and it just comes back out.
Fixed.
I don't know how it would determine what it used to look like. Maybe you have to like scan it when you first have it so that it's on record.
Yeah, get that buffer. Get that transport pattern.
Did we just discover? Hold on. Okay, if I order something from the food replicator and it obviously comes in a dish, and then I'm done, and I give that dish back to the food replicator, that means the food replicator replicated matter, and then I'm giving it matter back. Do you have to give the matter back to a matter replicator, or does it all? So technically, they can both do both. I'm overthinking it. Probably it's really not that deep, but but
I want to make all this happen, please. We already got the iPads and
And the flip
phones.
phones.
Got
we
that.
got more than a flip phone now. We got
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They're all working on
The real
teleporters
deal.
too. The transporters. I think they transported a molecule of light. Like
Yeah, you can do quantum teleportation.
Yeah,
There you go.
But that's
Yes.
not even. Yeah.
But
All right. Well, Michael, thank you for coming on and just giving us your time today to just talk everything Star Trek and your career. It has just been an absolute pleasure to just sit here and just nerd out and just talk.
Yes.
So thank you for everything.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank
Live long
you.
and prosper.
This was fun.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you for watching The Transporter Room. For just $5 per month, enjoy ad-free access to this episode and all previous ones, plus exclusive bonus content. Sign up now on Patreon.